Good afternoon, Gossip Talk Shows family. It's Namsa here at Gossip Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, I have Carol Ann Cooper. How are you, Carol Ann?
I'm very well, actually, considering get tired and my body gets very stiff, the more I sort of move around. But no, I'm much more out and about and mobile. So yeah, I'm moving on. Things are moving slowly but steadily forward and improving. So yeah, I'm good. Thank you. What about
Awesome.
yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Very, very well. Busy with everything, but hopefully
Mhm.
we'll get there.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so I kind of, my website it disappeared.
yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote a book with this guy, and I thought it was a small book or like just an e-book and stuff. So then I saw somebody on LinkedIn. So we were talking today, we had a meeting. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to get in touch with you later and to see when I've decided to write, when I've finished talking to her. So I went and count the pages of the book that we've written is actually the full book.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I might have to contact her back and tell her that I've got a full book and see whether to publish it or not with her.
Okay. Cool. It's
Yeah.
exciting. Yay.
Yeah, it is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought it was just I thought it's an ebook, just few pages, but she said 40,000 words, but we've already got more than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I
Okay.
might get in touch with her. Sometimes things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and you don't know why things are happening. So just it's always good to perfect for the topic, not to get into anxiety. Just take each day as it comes. So
Absolutely.
let's get to the topic
Topic.
that has
Yeah.
been
Woo.
chosen by Carol Ann. Overcoming social anxiety. Overcoming
Mm.
social anxiety is gradually a process that involves a combination of self-awareness, practice, and something professional. Sometimes you may need professional help. So we're going to share some strategies that may help you manage how to overcome your anxiety. And Carol Ann, before we get to the topic, I know you chose this topic. Is there anything that your family members are dealing with, or have you dealt with this anxiety, or what's the story behind it, choosing that topic?
Well, I was actually looking at all your boot camp topics because you're going to be putting on some boot camps to support people, and one of the topics was actually overcoming social anxiety. And I just thought I looked at all the other ones, and I just thought, oh, it spoke to me. And I just thought it'd be a nice one to explore. Let's have a look at maybe some of these topics we could just sort of talk about, and just because bring awareness to what they are, and people might be struggling with them. And yes, we can give tips on how to overcome, but actually, your boot camp is going to be something that they can dive into and work at a deeper level with. So I just thought it's a good opportunity to flag up that you're going to be doing these boot camps with lots of different topics on supporting people. And one of the topics is overcoming social anxiety. But while I was looking at it, I'm thinking, well, yeah, over the years, it is something that I've worked with because it is that sort of anxiety about, well, what am I going to say? Am I going to be able to, what am I meant to say? Because as I was growing up, when I was in a social setting or even thinking about going to one, it's like, well, what am I meant to say? And I'd stand and I'd watch other people and I think, well, how do they know what to say? What am I meant to say? And it's excruciating, because it just stops you from talking. But over the years, the sort of these latter years, although it's there to a certain extent, and I sit and listen, but I'm more able to just start a conversation or involve myself in a conversation. So it is something that is there for me, or has been. Even though I do, when I'm with a group of people that I know, socializing in an event, I'm always one that likes to be part of the organizing, because somehow you can just run around and you can talk to people and say hello and that, and just, but you're not just stood having to socialize in do you know what I mean? There's something else for you to do. So that's a role I've always enjoyed, and it's still there. I think that's why I enjoy crewing or assisting other people with their events. And because you're there, you're socializing in some aspect, but not fully. So yeah, it's something that there's one thing that I saw when I was going through this morning, just researching a few bits about it.
Does it mean that you're volunteering to be an instructor
An instructor for what?
for that day, social how to overcome?
Yeah, I quite happy because
Awesome.
the
Awesome.
activities that I do, the way I work with it, yeah, people can go dive quite deep and would help them to overcome social anxiety. So yeah, I
Awesome.
am. Yeah, I could. I hadn't thought about it in that way, but it's definitely something I could work.
Okay, okay, awesome, awesome. Because I did ask if all the coaches could go to the boot camp and tell me where they fit in. So thank you for that.
There's one thing. Yeah, I'll have a look through, but it's quite a few things I noticed, but this one I think would
Sure.
be
Yeah. So
certainly.
socially, anxiety is a big problem in dating. In dating, and that's why I have that program. I don't know if you've seen it. That say sexy sidekick is for
No.
actually when somebody don't have confidence, it's just for a matchmaker or anyone within the company, one of the coaches to go out with somebody, and when they are socializing, just to help them get rid of social anxiety. I'm not sure. I think when people go on the website, when it says a sexy sidekick, they think it's for sexually something.
Maybe I have to be a bit careful with your wording, eh?
But it's
Or explain
American.
it.
That's how they call it, though.
Ah,
Yeah,
really?
that's how they call it. It's
Right.
it's like um if somebody like they if they don't feel like the confidence and they feel like the anxiety to approach a man or a woman, so if you go to them, you go on a
Mm-hmm.
real date with them, like I'll go on a real date with them,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets real. So we are on a date, so we have to talk, and they have to behave like they don't know me. So then I have to give them feedback
Right.
after,
Ah,
or
okay.
whoever goes with
Yeah.
them. Like that's what is gonna happen if we go in the boot camp. In
Mm,
the evening, in the day is training. In the day, in the evening,
mm-hmm.
getting rest with the clients, going out. Love. So
Mm.
it gets practical. So that's why it's very, very important, because understanding anxiety is like educating you, is like understanding its nature and common triggers that
Yeah.
anxiety, and also knowing that it is okay to feel the nerves in a social situation. Like some people, when they go on dates, they think they have to be 100%. You can be 100% if you are somebody like me. My dress is falling off because there's no one to zip my dress.
Oh no, and you
Yeah,
can't get it. Oh
I
no.
cannot feel like I can go further.
And you can't go back like this and pull it up. No.
I can't see it.
Oh,
I
okay.
can just go far, much far. Yeah, so I don't know why I've changed it, because I go to the office in the morning and then in the afternoon I come here to be closer to my daughter's school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very, very important. Some people think they have to be perfect. But if you are just somebody like me who has done loads of, I've meditated and meditated. Now I don't really, when I go out, I just put myself out there. It doesn't matter. I have this attitude that we live in this world where I'm not going to deprive my happiness. If somebody is going to judge me, let it be. And I just carry me, accept me 100% and just put myself out there. And understanding that the person that is in front of me, they are just like me. They want to get to know me as I want to get to know them. They have nothing against me. I think people, when they go on dates or whatever they do, or they go to interviews or they go out for drinks, they think that they're not good enough. But the truth is, if you look at the other person and say to yourself, you know, this person is created just like me, and everything that they represent is everything that I am. I'm a human being,
Mhm.
and I just want to get to know their story. They want to get to know my story. If you go with that attitude, that put yourself out there and
Mhm.
knowing that you are enough in your own way, and without the expectations as well, because some people, we go there are people that I go like for interview and they're like, Nomsa, if I don't say my name, like the clients, they'll be like, can I see the owner of the company? And I'm like, it's me. And they're like, I Nomsa, are you Nomsa? I'm like, yeah, I am. They're like, but sometimes I'll be like, but you're so tiny, or you are like, you're not what I expected. I'm like, what did you expect? And they're like, I was like, what did you expect? So, and then you start the conversation there. So it's just accepting yourself for who you are and knowing that when you put yourself out there, that person is where they're putting themselves out there for you. So they have your back. Of course, we're not talking about people who are arrogant. We're talking about the real people that are in this living in the real world. So, but if you do meet people with an attitude, it happens. And that attitude, it might affect you, but you have to work on it. It might affect you, but for me, people with attitude, it does not affect me anymore. I don't know if anyone has seen my video going through human blood sacrifice. That made me realize that actually, if I can meet Lucifer, who else is there? Who else is bigger than God?
Mhm.
And who else is actually he is actually in the middle with God. So I tell myself that if I can meet him, because I when I met him, he was like, I'm not killing you. He was like, what? He was like, I'm not killing you, but I'm gonna let you go because you're actually your mind. Because I didn't care, Carol Ann, when I was facing condemnation. I didn't care. I knew he was there, but I didn't care. So after that, I had to sit down with myself. What is there for me to fear? Where is the anxiety coming from? There's so many things that I've been questioning that I don't have to put myself out there. Because when he actually, before he left, he just showed me how he does things. And I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to be scared of anything or anyone. If I meet somebody or if I meet Bill Gates, to me, Bill Gates is a billionaire. To him, it's a number, but he worked really hard for his money. So I'll be like wanting to know his mindset. I'll be wanting to know what carried him to be the person that he is today.
Mhm.
The rest is just like me.
Mhm.
So I think that's the way to look at things. How do you look at things? I like to hear your story, girl. How do you look at things?
Interesting. Because what you're saying, it's about other people are just people, and meeting someone, as you say, like Bill Gates, it's it's just another human being,
Yeah, it's another
and
human
it's
being
just
that really,
talking with them and
yeah,
understanding their how what makes them tick. How did they
yeah,
get to where they got to? You know, what was it that they did, or and to be able to learn from them, but not just that. just to get to know them as a person.
Yeah.
What makes them tick? And I remember I was never anybody in authority. I never really sort of felt intimidated by. And I remember that thinking that when I was younger. But it's more the sort of, for me, it was the social aspect of knowing what to say, but also making phone calls or answering a phone. I used to be absolutely petrified. I used to put it off. And even when in one particular job that I got, I remember saying to my boss, I said, I don't like answering phone, making phone calls and that. And so he made me do some phone calls. That's where he ended up doing it. And I sort of managed it. But over the years, I've got more used to it because I realized that it was me not being able to understand them, or because I like to see people's faces, and being on the phone, you can't see their face. But what I can now do is I can feel into the space and hear and be with that person. I'm more comfortable with silence. If a conversation pauses for a moment, it's okay. You don't have to fill it and think, oh God, I've got to say something. It's just like, okay, well, be in that silence for a moment. Be with the other person, whether they're on the phone or whether they're with you in person. Because out of that silence, something arises that then needs to be spoken. And it's not just inane chatter or something to fill the space, It is something that promotes a conversation and spurs a further conversation. So I think that's one key aspect, is actually being comfortable with not talking, being comfortable with silence in a moment, and being comfortable with just being, and then allowing the conversation to move and flow as it does and arise. And I'm happy with just now. I'm listening more. I'm able to hear what is being said and what's not being said. And rather than trying to sort of think, oh, what have I got to say? How can I reply? My mind just goes blank and I just listen. What is being said here? And then just allow my response to arise out of that. And if I find that I'm with somebody that is, I can feel when they're in their head and they're attempting to think of something to say. I just end up going silent because I find it stops my words. But I just allow that to happen, and then I'm with that person. Again, it's sometimes I make it wrong, and then it's like, no, just stop making it wrong. It is what it is. And I just sit in, well, okay, so what is there for me to contribute here? And then I'll say something, and actually it might only be a few words, but all of a sudden they'll go, oh my goodness. It's like, wow. I needed to hear that, or gosh, that's made me think, and it just pauses the conversation or moves it on in a different way. But it also acknowledges what the other person's saying. And it's realizing there was a really powerful activity that we did with a company called Landmark, which is a personal development company. And that is, it helped us to realize that actually nobody is really worth thinking about the other person. They're thinking about themselves. And it's like, oh, okay. You're worrying about what other people are thinking about you, but actually they're not. Because they're thinking about themselves. They're worried about, what people are thinking. And it's like, oh, wow. Yeah. So what was I worried about? So it is recognizing that. And as you said, what are the triggers? What is it that you're anxious about? Because there's a whole lot of things around social anxiety, lots of different aspects and symptoms of it. What's yours? And it's just recognizing what that trigger is. And as you said, it's about facing it. It's facing that fear, facing whatever it is, and just breathing, because you'll find that you'll have held your breath. You'll be holding your breath in some way. There'll be tension in your body somehow. And it's just breathing into the tension. Or if you find yourself yawning, just massage the jaw muscle here and let yourself yawn even deeper, because that's again releasing the tension, because we tend to clench our teeth and hold the tension in our jaws. So if you can release that tension, it will allow you to then get oxygen to your brain, which is what it's asking for, but also for your mouth to sort of open freely and for you to then start talking. So yeah, just breathe. Do this. It's a brain gym activity called energy yawn. So just yawn and massage your jaw muscle. And I know we stifle a yawn, but don't. Allow yourself to yawn and just go, okay, and just feel that relaxation. Because this actually, by releasing the tension in your jaw muscle, you release the tension in your ears and your eyes, because they're all so closely connected. So you'll be able to hear a little bit more clearly what's being said, or what your thoughts are, what they're saying. Also see more clearly as well. Be able to focus on what's there. So that's just one thing you can do. What things have changed for me over the years. There is still sort of anxiety when I think about going out and meeting up in a group, but once I'm there, I'm there. I think sometimes it's the getting there, isn't it? Because we're all in our head. That's what stops us.
Yeah. I try not to think ahead.
Yeah.
About the crowd, honestly. Yeah, I
yeah.
try not to do that. That helps me a lot. I just say, God, to carry me through. No
Yes.
idea where I'm going.
Yeah.
Just carry me through.
Yeah. And when you're there, it's because I remember I used to crew, Anthony Robbins, his 4-day big event that he puts on called Unleash the Power Within. And so I did that many years ago as a participant, and then I crewed it, I think it's like 4 or 5 times afterwards. And I remember sitting in the crew room and looking around and thinking, everybody's talking. But actually, when I looked around, there were odd people that were just sitting on their own. And I just sat there and I just thought, oh, okay, so I'm on my own. And I stopped making it wrong. And I was just sat there. And then all of a sudden, someone came over and sat with me and started chatting, So I now just sit when I'm in a company and I just listen, and I can go and instigate a conversation if I see somebody that's on their own, or allow whoever's meant to talk with me in that moment to come and talk with me. And that's where I just put up that prayer and say, okay, Lord, who am I meant to talk with today? And trust that I will speak with whoever I'm meant to. And every time it's amazing who I meet and the conversation that happens, and it's exciting. And do I need to get to know everybody that's there in that room? No. If I only come away with knowing one person I didn't know before, that's the miracle in itself. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you never know what might then come from that meeting. But when you're with somebody and thinking, oh, I got to go and talk with someone else, and oh, I got to go and talk with somebody else, you're not with that person. So it's about being okay to spend the time with just one person.
Yeah, you are right, Carol Ann, because there are some business networks that I don't attend, because what I notice is when you go there, is it's like there's no connection. You swap the business cards, and then they have to go and talk to other people.
Yeah.
And when you swap the business card, it's like if you explain your business and they see that there's no connection, I don't know what's the connection anyway. They just move away. They're like, But the
Mhm.
truth is, for me, what I understand is if you meet somebody who has their own business, that means they have people. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter what kind of a business they run. I'm a matchmaker. My business is a dating thing. But if I meet somebody maybe who has a pub, they have people for me. So all those people, anyone that is standing on earth, it has people that they know that could come and buy my business. So I never really dismiss anyone like what you are saying. I would prefer to stand still with one person and get to know them. And I know that if I get to know them, they would be like, wow, this person, she's nice, she's genuine. And then whenever they have people, they will just refer people to me. So I
Mm.
don't go to some business event because it's like the attitude is, what is in it for me? What can I get from you? Oh, wow, I can't get anything from you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Even sometimes on LinkedIn, I get people like saying, oh, wow, no, sir, I don't think you and I can collaborate. I'm like, you have no idea how much big network that I have. I'm like, you have a business, so that means I have people that I can send them to you. It's
Mm.
not really about the business connecting with each other. It's the people that people are the business. I don't see myself as a business owner. I see people that are my clients are actually they are the ones that tell me what to do
Mhm.
because they come in, they tell me their needs. So I don't have to act on based on my needs. I act based on their needs. So that's how I see it anyway. So I agree 100% with you when you say actually you have to get to know somebody. And that's why whenever I go or if I go to a business event or if I talk to my clients, I always say when you meet somebody on a date, if the looks is what you don't expect with somebody, don't judge them straight away because that person you can see the disappointment in your eyes. I don't know with other people, but for me, I can see when somebody is disappointed, like the body language, the everything,
Mm.
and then it turns out it would turn out. I always say to my clients, what if that person they turn out to be the love of your life? Because the looks sometimes is not always. Yes, it comes with it, but sometimes God has other plans. So I always say, and also it's a practice. I always say when you meet somebody on a date, they show up. They're 6 foot two, they're not 6 foot two, they're 6 foot. And maybe they don't have whatever the color hair you expect, the color eyes you expect. Is that attitude at that moment how you move forward responding to them showing up for you that would take your life to the next level. But if you respond to the disappointment, because it's a skill, everything we do in life is a skill. So I've learned not to judge people because I have realized the people that show up good for me, they
Mhm.
don't take my life anyway. But those that show up, somebody will judge them. They're the ones who end up holding my hands, taking my life to the next level. So I don't judge anyone. It's very, very important. But when it comes to anxiety, if anyone is watching, guys, for me, what helped me with my attitude to be where I am today, there were times where I will use my color. I would say, who's gonna listen to? I'm black. Hi guys from LinkedIn, from Facebook, Twitter. We love you guys. We're celebrating you. We're not taking you for granted. So know that we love you. If you want to comment, you want to get involved,
Mm.
please get involved into the conversation. We'll reply to you or we just speak. If you type in, we love you, Bennett, we love you, is my big fan. I need to give him a badge for that. Yeah, so it's very, very important, Carol Ann, like I was saying, that the attitude that has carried me through to be where I am today is getting rid of the lies that I've been telling myself for years. When I came to the UK, I was like, wow, I'm from Africa. No one is going to listen to me. Uh, I'm a black woman. Those were the lies that I was telling myself. And then I would look at myself, I would be like, wow, do I really need to do this? I'll come up with so many excuses to create anxiety. I will create anxiety for myself
Mm-hmm.
without realizing. I'll come up with so many 20 reasons why I cannot do this, why that one, or even when I go out or going on a date, because I'm trying to fit in, I'll create this anxiety when a man tells me what they do. So I'll try to make my life very, very exciting to actually fit into what they are, and try to like put on my personality. And I'll be like, oh wow, I'm into you. But I'm like, when I come out, I'll be like, what did I do that for? I don't not really into him.
Mm.
But I've learned the hard way that I need to accept me for me. And that anxiety is me that was creating it. I thought maybe I was like having anxiety, but as I look back now, all these negative thoughts that were coming into my head, I had to change that attitude and I had to challenge them because they were contributing to my anxiety. And now I don't really, that's why now I don't mind. When I go out with, I know that the person, there's two choices. They might accept me or they might not accept me. Even when I go for business deals and stuff, I just go with that attitude to say, this is who I am. If you don't like my language, because sometimes people try to have these fancy words that they can create so that you sound so good. And so, if you are really, really genuine, you don't have to have big words. You just have to have the skills of communicating with somebody, like you said earlier, Carol Ann, listening, the power of listening without judging yourself or without judging the other person. Do not condemn yourself, guys, when you're doing things. And a social anxiety, it comes through to us because we condemn us ourselves. We put ourselves on judgment. And when we put ourselves on judgment, the result is anxiety, where people say, you know what, I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't do that. And that is creating a personality where you start believing it. So for me, Carol Anna, to be the person that I am, it was like, Nomsa, get rid of the lies. Then I got rid of those lies and I stopped believing them. And then I thought I was creating my own truth, but that truth was already the Nomsa that is authentic was already there. So I find myself the last day of my healing and everything, just giving myself a hug and this inner voice is saying, I love you. And that was the last day where I feel the anxiety, social anxiety. When I just go out, I just put on my my own dress, just my high heels, the things that I love, and I look good and I just go out. Doesn't matter what the other person is gonna think of me. I don't know about you, Carol Ann.
I think what you said is really important. It is about knowing yourself, being
Yeah,
comfortable with yourself and who you are, and just being yourself. And notice when you are trying to fit in with a group or with somebody else,
yeah.
because you are not being yourself, you're not being
Uh,
authentic. And that's hard work because
Tell me
you're
about
constantly
it.
making yourself wrong, and it's this niggle going on inside. And you know, the illness that comes from that, people have got no idea the effect that stress and anxiety has on it. Eats away at your very soul, because you're denying who you are. So get to know who you are, be comfortable with who you are, love yourself, And if you do find yourself trying, just stop and say, what's going on here? For what reason am I trying to fit in? What part of me believes that I have to fit in here? Is it me? If it's not, then just send them love and just walk away, or just say, all right, I'm just going to be me and I'll listen. And you might find that they'll just drift away, and that's okay. And if that's your biggest fear, that people are just going to ignore you and walk away, then they're not people that are there for you. So why are you focusing on them? So again, it's recognizing what you're focusing on. If you're focusing on people that making you, or it seems like they're making you to fit in, or they're not accepting you for who you are, then, and they walk away, let them when if they find out who you really are and they walk away, then they're not for you. And they're not making it mean something bad about yourself. All it means is that they walked away because they're not comfortable with you. They're not your sort of person. And just love yourself and just say, okay, so who is here? Who could I just be comfortable with being myself with? And notice who shows up. It may be someone who you've not seen. They're there, but you've ignored them because you've been ignoring who you truly are. Once you find yourself and you give yourself attention, those people will show up. And then you'll find actually communication and talking, there is no effort. It just happens because there's a bubbling, there's a happiness, there's a joy, there's a connection, and it just sparks conversation. So certainly, yeah, what you were saying, Namsa, know you and love yourself and just be happy to be yourself wherever you are. Because if you're not, then there's a lie there. And actually the exhaustion is trying to fit in with or create the lies. When you're actually yourself, that's the truth. And the truth never goes away. You don't have to hang on to, what did I say before? What was it, that had me fit in or accepted? By being yourself, there's nothing to try and find out about, you've got to say, because you're coming from your true, authentic self. And that's there all the time. So it just becomes easy and natural. So again, yeah, it's part of recognizing the triggers and what you're doing. And it's about the games that we play. And I've sort of, there's a slight sort of shift I'm going to make with my business and focus, because talking with someone last week, I realized that because I don't enjoy writing, and my goal this year is to find a love and enjoyment in writing. And he said, well, why are you focusing on writing? And I said, I don't know, because I keep asking the Lord the same question. And he said, well, what do you
How
like
are you
doing?
asking that questions? Actually, how are you asking the question?
Sorry?
How are you asking God the question?
For what reason am I focusing on writing? For what reason am I, doing
Show me my
writing?
abilities. You need to ask God to show you your
Show you my
abilities.
abilities. Okay.
Yes.
Show me my
Show me
abilities.
my abilities.
Okay. He's been showing me, and I've been ignoring them. And actually
Hey, let
speaking with
me.
this person last week helped me to hear what I've been ignoring. And it is my love of games, because the way I work is I love playing games, any sort of games, like box games or cards or others, like pick up sticks, things like this, 3D Connect 4 is one that I love, but it's then playing with the metaphor that comes out as you're playing the game, because that helps to bring out that deeper truth that's going on, that's holding you back from succeeding in whatever you want to do. So my shift, he suggested I shift and focus on games, because that I can then talk about writing. I can talk about working with coaches, with multi-level marketing people. I can, with relationships from that. And all of a sudden it's like, yes, that's my joy. That's my excitement. Because all the time I've been pushing that way, because I keep saying, but I do it through playing games. I do it through playing games. And it's like, well, I've been pushing that away. Bring that to the forefront. And then everything else just seems to be fitting into place. So I'm now about to step into that. And there's a part of me all the dates started creeping in. But it's like, no, as I'm speaking it now, this is what I love doing. And this is what I will work with, about helping people to overcome social anxiety. There's activities we can do, or play games, and jigsaw puzzles is my big favorite that I bring to my workshops, because what that brings out is amazing. And I had that in one of my workshops. There was a lady that came, I used to run them before, it was the year before lockdown started, and she came and she said, oh, I don't like jigsaw puzzles, never liked jigsaw puzzles. I said, so what is it about writing that you don't like? Because they'd come to do writing. You see, so can you hear the wording that comes out, and we can play with it? And she was saying, well, I don't feel confident with my writing. And after we did some other activities, like some brain gym or some meditation or tapping, do things like that, go back and do the activity again, the jigsaw puzzle, and she loved it. She was really into it. And then she just found a confidence in writing that she hadn't had before. And she was happy then to be writing. So this is where my joy is. And that's so, I'm going to be reshaping my business around that. So,
Yeah, ask Gary to give you divine access to the key. Lord, give me divine access. Lord, give me divine access key to access the realm of my abilities.
The
realm of my ability.
realm.
Realm. The spirit realm. In heaven. There's realms in heaven when you go to the throne of grace.
Can you spell the word? I can't quite make out.
Ram. Like, when they say
Spell
this.
the word. Spell the word.
Hold on. R.
Yeah.
Is it Ram, R-A? Hold on. Ram. Spirit realm. Realm. Is it R-A-M?
R-E-M.
Yeah. But you have to say Lord Jesus. There's lots of Lord. You need one, not a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, you need one. Ask for the divine access key to access the realm of your abilities. Or even if you have anxiety, or if you have anxiety, when you leave the home, you just say, God, raise a voice where I have no voice. Raise a voice for me where I have no voice.
That's nice.
Mention where you're going. If you're going to the coffee shop or the person you're meeting, you just say, God, raise a voice for me where I have no voice. Meaning, the words that we speak sometimes, we might be lost for words, but the words that are authentic, that comes from within, cannot be judged, because you're speaking from your authenticity. And if the other person, they're not real, you can feel it. So just ask God to have a voice for you.
Yeah. Okay.
So that works.
Yeah. Thank you. Because I keep getting a message that, right, there is writing for me to do. And I just need to trust the process, because once I have, through writing, I've and unlocking that writer within me and helping others do the same. I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot. And I know I keep getting this knowing, this message that once I've written my first book and published it, it's going to unlock something that I is beyond my wildest dreams. You know, um, things are going to happen in ways I could never have thought of. So, and I think it's trusting that. And I think this comes also back to the social anxiety of, well, can I cope with all the attention that's going to
Okay, this is
happen?
how I used to be. Like,
Yeah, because that is one thing.
you remember when I told
Yeah.
you the other day, I said I decided I'm working on my authority,
Mm-hmm.
like the attitude where I want to do something, but I'm questioning myself if
Mm,
do I really, can I really do it? That is wanting to do something without authority. So you need authority.
mm,
But in order to do that, you have to be connected to your inner being. You got to surrender. For me, I do it. It helps me with the fasting
mm-hmm.
and also saying things over and over to God. That prayer that I gave you before, are you using it or you're not using it? Because if you are using it, God would have been with you by now. Raw
Well,
power
God
of
is
God.
with me anyway. I hear what you're
No,
saying,
no, I mean you could
and
have it could have shown to you already.
yeah, and I it's another again. If I it's if you're not getting the answer that you want or seem to, asking a better question. So this
Mhm.
is probably is what you would deem a better question. And it is about asking better questions if you're not getting the answer you want. But it's also recognizing when God gives you an answer, you might be
Yeah,
ignoring it. So asking another question, so it comes in it, you get a different answer. You might then start to hear it or see, oh my God, he's been showing me this all these years.
yeah,
He's been telling me this all these years, and I've just chosen to ignore it. So it does answer, but it's whether
yeah.
you
Now
choose
ask
to
him for your
listen.
abilities because when you keep asking about
Mm,
your writing might not be what he wants you to do.
yeah.
So ask him to show you your abilities. So what I did for me was we were just praying with my everyone, praying online. That was 3 weeks ago. So I'm deciding, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm,
And then he comes in and says, Nomsa, if you want to do this, what you have decided to do, I've saved your life. But you've never told anybody. You kept it a secret. So
mm,
now I need you to tell the world. I need you to go and record how I saved you first before you go further. So then I recorded that 3 videos about going through human blood sacrifice.
mm-hmm,
But those videos, I wasn't recording them for anybody. He asked me to record them because there's a white Canadian woman that I met through business trips. We became friends. We were going through the same thing, but we've never talked about it.
mm-hmm,
I came through, but she's still going through it.
mm-hmm,
The moment I actually published the video, she called me the following day and I was like, Nomsa, I'm going through the same thing. I was like, what?
mm-hmm,
But we are friends. And she was like, yes. So in a way that I wasn't recording that video for anybody. I was recording God wanted to serve her, only her. So
mm-hmm,
that's sometimes you got to find ways to communicate with God. There are some ways where we think if I ask God for money, if he doesn't show up, it means he is not there. Or if I'm having this anxiety, if it doesn't show up, it means my life is just not good. And it means we're not asking the right question. You need to ask the whole of it. What is causing it? Where is the foundation of it? So when he did that, Kero Ani, I recorded the videos. And then 2 days later, now my eyes opened now.
mm-hmm,
Like, yeah, it's like,
mm-hmm,
and then I was doing something. I had made a decision that I'm going to manifest. I'm going to do this and manifest with God. And then after I did that, like recorded the video, that girl's contact me. And then I give her the people because she's like anxiety, everything is there. Then I contact, give a connection with the actually pastors that stood by me. I never paid them a penny, but I never met these people, but they heard my story and they were like, we're going to help you. So they 24/7, they were there for me. So I gave her the contact to contact them. And then after I gave them the contact, yes, now I'm getting the ideas of what I'm supposed to be doing, they become very clear now because there was a block. That thing was a blockage for me because what I did was I knew what I was going through. And sometimes, because when you're going through human blood sacrifice, it means you are closer. When I mean, it means you are between heaven and earth. It means you are already with Lucifer in there for judgment. But although you're on earth, half of you is there. So it means wherever you go socially, people can actually, he can hack them straight away, the occult. So for me, it was like when people invite me for birthdays, I will say I'm not available. That is hurting somebody, knowing that I'm not allowed. Because the pastors will say, we'll check for you if you're allowed to go. And they'll come back and saying, you can't go. You need to stay at home. Or sometimes something happened, they'll say, you need to stay at home. Or they'll say, you can go. Until that battle with him, I was completely cut off because God had told him to leave me alone. But he decided to have fun with me, just to torture me. So I'm the one that gives up, but I didn't.
Well
So
done.
that social anxiety. So sometimes it could be how is linked. It could be it's not really social anxiety. There's something connected to it. So instead of when you're praying like a Christian, this is for Christian, like maybe when you are praying, instead of focusing for the anxiety, God, what do you want? Show me what is hindering me to become the person that I am. Or sometimes there could be something in front that the layer that needs to be removed. Or it could be for me, I knew the truth. It was the truth that I was hiding from my family, from my friends, where I did not want to talk about it. But God wanted me to share for people to know that He is God, He exists, He saved me. But I did not share it. I let people believe that I wasn't like a good person when they invite me, I'm refusing. And some people, they were really mad to me. So God wanted me to share that story. And the minute I shared the story, Carol Ann, there was like everything started showing up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So it
Great
might
sharing.
be,
And
it
I
might,
think it's yeah, you've now stepped forward and you're sharing and allowing people to show up. So is
yeah.
that aspect of social anxiety that would have you'd know that actually at some level you would have known that by sharing this was going to happen, and it's not that that stops you because it's like, oh my God, can I cope with all of that attention, you know? um and it is just clearing that and just standing in. Yes, you can, because the Lord's got you back. The universe has got you back. Whoever you believe in, that higher power has got your back, and there's a reason for you doing it. And
That's why I can
one of
never
the
have
ways of
social
actually
anxiety.
overcoming social anxiety in the moment is actually because you're out of the present. You're not in the moment.
No.
So it's bringing yourself back to the moment. What actually is happening? What can you hear? What can you see? Bring in your senses. What are you feeling? What's, can you taste? Maybe there's something else. Can you smell? It brings you into the moment and it stops that anxiety. Also recognize where your eyes are. Are your eyes looking down? Because then you're in your emotions. Look up at the sky, look up at the ceiling. And all of a sudden, the emotion goes, because you can't be in that visual realm and your emotional realm at the same time.
No.
So these are ways that you can overcome it. And it's just being present to that. I do it because it's recognizing where you are and going, okay, I'm having this anxiety, and be an observer of it rather than being overtaken by it. Because that way that's how you can manage it. That's how it will shift. But certainly one thing is bring yourself into the moment. Ask yourself, is this anxiety real? Is what I'm thinking actually real? Because the answer is no, because it hasn't happened, or it's based on fear that is, something happening again that maybe happened before. But you can't always, it's not a guarantee that it will. So it's just being in the moment, being present. Breathe, focus on your breathing. And
Not
yeah,
condemning yourself.
exactly.
Not thinking that Nomsa, she's better than me, People, they say so many things that they
Yeah.
think. But Nomsa has figured out her things that are holding her back. That's the different. And she's
Mhm.
worked on her issues
Yeah.
and so many things. And that's what makes us different. But if you just understand that you are a human being and the same way as I am, it's just me, I like learning. Just by the way, Carol Ann, I told you about this girl with the recording. And then after the recording, after the introduction, now I had to change my mind. The path where I was going, I had to change my mind. And now God was like, because it's like when I pray, I say I'm just praying. So I realize that actually I need to stand in the gap for everybody in my team or my family, my blood, my friends. So please, whatever you do, don't leave Nkosi talk shows like Rachel. So I'm
Mm.
standing in the gap for you, everybody at Nkosi talk shows and Hope Spring Itinerant Introduction Agency. That's why the decision that I have made, and that's why my eyes are open. The day I declared, I was like, okay, God, I always pray for myself, always pray for my family, I always pray for the people around me. But now I'm just going to change everything. I'm going to put myself as a sacrifice, and anything attack that will go to my team or anybody, count me on it. So it means count me on it. So it means everything, my prayers are not just coming to me, they'll come to you. So you need to be in the right place. You want the revelation about your writing, stay connected in the right place.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I am going for 1,000 days.
1,000 days.
There's lots of people that I'm working with. We're going
Ah,
for 1,000 days.
okay, cool.
So yeah, so stay in that place. But whatever you do, please don't shock me with a different career.
No, it's not a different. I won't shock you with a different career, because it isn't a different career.
Yeah,
It's
but
actually acknowledging what's there already.
anything can happen with God, Carol. And
I know. Yeah.
anything can happen. Have I told you what Russian has decided to do?
No.
Okay, so that's why my prayers are sometimes I'm getting scared. She
Okay.
completely surrendered to the coaching.
Mm.
She has a different business now and is successful.
Yeah.
So when I met her the other day, she was like, I don't know how Nomsa is going to feel about this. But when she told me, I was like, girl, just go for it. Honestly.
Because if you're being true to yourself and in
Yeah.
alignment with what you're meant to be doing, things just open up, and it just,
Oh, yes.
yeah. Yeah. So it wasn't what
Yes.
she was meant to be doing. Um, but she's got experience from it. She's got background. It's things, it would have helped her to get to where she is now.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. So lovely. Good for her.
Yeah. So what do you leave with our audience, Carol Ann? What are the words of encouragement you leave with our audience?
I guess just stay in the moment. Because if you're in the moment, then what you fear most isn't happening, because it's like that will go. It's about being present. And just leave you with a couple of quotes. I think I've got a few here, but what Eleanor Roosevelt, she said, "You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do." You know, which is something we've been saying. Everybody's worrying about themselves. They're not worrying about you. And Ricky Williams, "Now that I have conquered social anxiety disorder, I find pleasure in fans approaching me." So again, what have you been pushing away that could now approach you? So just explore, have fun, and play with it, because that's what I love doing, is playing with what presents, playing with games, but basically playing with what presents and looking at the metaphor. And when you do that, you recognize life is full of games. It is a game, you know. So have fun. And you can find me on Facebook, Carol Ann Cooper, LinkedIn. I also have a Facebook group called Get Your Book Written. So do reach out and see if I can help you in any way. And if you like the idea of playing games, to explore what your blocks are, overcoming, social anxiety, get in touch. It's a different way of exploring something you might not have thought of before.
Love that. Love that. For me is set realistic goals. And if you need to improve your skills, please do improve your skills. And after setting realistic goals, and the thing that has helped me to be where I am today with my social skills and anxiety, get rid of them, these lies that I tell myself, is to fully accept myself for who I am as a person without condemning myself or without thinking that other people are better than me. And if I see somebody that I admire on Facebook, what I do on any social platform, I contact them. And I tell them what I think and how they are contributing to my success. And I find that they'll reply to me and say, "Oh, wow, Nomsa, thank you so much." And then they'll give me more tips on how to improve my character. But I never look at people and say, "You're better than me" and stuff. Because I know that we are all unique in our own way. So it's very important wherever you go, sing your own song, dance your own dance, walk your own path, write your own story. It might not be perfect to other people, but if it's perfect to you and God, you are in the right track. And the other thing, like what I was saying to Carol Ann, she needs to ask divine access key. Whatever you do in life, or if you are a Christian, ask for God to give you the key to access whatever you desire in life. But it also, some people go to God because they want something. But it also, his love has to come first. The love, like I'm talking to Christian now, the love of God has to come first. God has to feel the love you have for him, and then ask for the access. You can ask for unlimited divine access. Give me unlimited. You know, when you enter a place, a building, you have to press the button for somebody to let you in.
Mm.
That's what you do when you want to have authority in God's throne of grace. You ask for the access to enter. when you are allowed to enter unlimited. God give me unlimited. Like, think of God as a somebody who's got Christmas, like Father Christmas, who can give you anything you want. He's like that.
Mm.
Give me divine access limited to enter. And then once he says yes, once he obviously you're speaking to him, he'll say yes straight away. And then I ask you for the divine access, whatever you feel that you are searching for. It could be power within, it could be wealth, it could be authority if you don't have authority within yourself, or it could be you just want the knowledge of something. Anything that I'm telling you guys, I've done it. Or it could be abilities, intelligence, or it could be anything. And then you ask for the realm of the throne of grace and truth. And then a God will let you have access. I don't do SEO. I got tired when I ask somebody on YouTube, do this for me, do this to me, for me, and people are not doing things properly. I was like, God, can you just show me how to do it? Holy Spirit, show me how to do it. I had the desire to actually fix my business, my this. And one day, I'm sitting in front of the computer. I'm looking at the mouse. I'm finishing the talk show, looking at the mouse, and the Holy Spirit to go, take the mouse. I was like, what? Take the mouse. So I took the mouse, and then we went on YouTube. I was just doing it, girl. I was just doing it. I was like, when I finished, I was like, I just done my SEO. Yeah, that's how God works. That's why I'm saying that never talk yourself down. And the SEO, there's so many things that I've done. Sometimes when somebody's sick, I just stand in the gap and say, God, I take that sickness, that person, they're being attacked. And God will not give me the sickness. I'm not taking it because I'm praying for them with all my heart. And then in the following day, or that person will ring them and they're okay. So you just have to have authority what you do in life to stand for yourself, because NOMSA cannot. Or if you're meeting NOMSA, don't feel nerves. NOMSA is just like you. So guys, I'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Live with grace. And if you want to get in touch, if you want to get in touch with us, please go to my website. Get in touch. We have a page for coaching. Get in touch for coaching. For me, I just go to the foundation of life. If you come and tell me, Nomsa, I can't find love, I've got issues, I cannot give you confidence. First, I have to find out what brought all this to think that you cannot find love. And then once we unlock it, or sometimes it's just by talking to you, or there are some clients that came to me as a client. I talk to them and I tell them to go. Sometimes they'll call me and say, Nomsa, after talking to you, 2 days later, I went to work. I just met somebody. Because sometimes it's just that blockage that is in front of us that we think we are not good enough. So that's how I do my coaching. I go to the foundation of the problem, and then we take it from there. If I can help you, I help you. But we have loads of coaches here at Ngosi Talk Shows and Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency. If you don't resonate with me, I'm a Christian, guys. I've met Lucifer. He tortured me, put me on the condemnation. So I've seen it all. So if you come to me and tell me the story, sometimes I get to know straight away what you're talking about and how I can help you. But if I say, or sometimes God will tell me she hasn't got a problem, she just need to go and do this. And that's all, she's fine. So I do all that. And I've got love as well. Everything that I do it from the bottom of my heart, through love, caring, through the pain that I've gone through. And then you have Carol Ann and other coaches as well. They do the coaching completely different as well. So just sign up if you want coaching. And like Carol Anna said, we're going to start doing boot camp as well. We'll be traveling in a different countries and doing boot camp. If you want to know more about boot camp, you can go to the website. It tells you what kind of boot camp we have. And if you want to make some inquiries, the guys are working behind the scenes to actually market the boot camp so we can set up the dates. You can make some inquiries if you are interested and just say, no, sir, I'm interested, and then it will be doing that. But boot camp, it will be all practicals. If dating is a problem, we do the training in the day, we go out on the date in the night. Either if you are a man, you go out on a date with me. And then I look at everything that you do when you're on a date. This is what I do anyway with my clients. But that one, it will be going deep to find out why practicals. And Carol Ann does her own practicals as well. So we'll be going deep in deep things, not just talking and sitting there writing notes. I can send you the notes because I already got them. So you don't need to sit down and write, but we can do the practicals. And if you're a Christian, I teach you how to actually connect with God. If you want to know what you put yourself into, you can go and check out my father in the Lord, Dr. Lukoya, and my brother is Leroy. These are the people that coach me to be where I am today. I walked into church on Sunday, Carol, and on Friday, I told you after I did this video, I didn't know that by doing, sometimes your true self originally can be locked up through sins, through a cult or anything. I didn't know that actually. I thought it was my original, and my original is locked up somewhere. And somebody says a prayer. Then I started praying. I can feel it now. I'm coming out, and everyone is like, "What the heck is she doing?" And when I'm finished, my pastor goes, "Hell no, Nomsa. It looks like you are here for business." I was like, "Oh, hell yes." But that's when I realized that God has done it. Now I'm walking in truth, not lying to myself. I'm walking in truth. I didn't care like with the makeup or anything. I was like there, like my original calling Nomsa. Yes. I was calling Nomsa. We had to call our names. My original come out. And what surprised me is when I was 9 years old, is where I stopped feeling the feeling that I had. Mm-hmm. And I could feel that feeling. I'm being connected with that feeling. And I was like struggling. It's like, I'm like, what the heck is going on? When I felt that I'm being dragged back in, I was like, and everyone is looking. I was like, what is she doing? And my pastor goes, don't look at her, just keep going. It's just like keep going. In the end, when I finished, I was like, God, you are the truth, God. So when I say we do the training, I don't teach you how to go and approach a woman or a man. You yourself within, you get to do that. You get to be in charge when we do the bootcamp training. So live with grace, everyone, and God bless. I stop talking now.